Good morning. This is Norma Cowie, and I still have a little bit of a cold voice in here, but I am improving. And I did Wednesday, I'm doing Sunday, and hopefully again tomorrow night on Monday at 7, I can do mental mind treatments. Not sure how long I'll be for that because my voice still kind of fades away a little bit, but it's mostly in my sinuses now. I do feel a lot better. I am getting more things done. And it was like, you get tired of being ill, you get tired of where you're at, and you just say, okay, that's enough. I've got to get back in, and the old saying, get back in the saddle. And because it makes me feel better than just watching TV and not doing too much more. Back to making appointments. So life's coming back around really, really well. I missed last Sunday, which is Easter Sunday. I usually have a talk around Easter, especially when I used to speak in centers and things like that. You know, I I have had to deal a lot with forgiveness for myself through my life because I'm not perfect, and it took me a long time to realize the importance of forgiveness. Now, where those of us that went to Sunday school were taught that Jesus said something on the cross about asking God to forgive them because they did not know what they did. It never struck me as correct. It never ever struck me as there was something, when something doesn't quite fit within self. I might be incorrect on this, but my understanding of the universal love force of whatever we call God or whatever you want to use that force of love, of which Jesus, as a healer, was very much a part of. And as he said, the Father within me. Now, Father, again, you got to take a look at 2,000 years ago. We might say today the energy within me does the work. We're just the vehicle, um, which I came to believe. But what I found was that this is a lot about in our lives about forgiving ourselves, our judgments, our not wanting to be as compassionate as we could be, blaming ourselves. Like, I really do feel, based on my past life regression work, that guilt and regret are the two no-nos for us. Now, how do we clear that? And we clear that by tuning into that love force where there is forgiveness, where because there's no judgment, so you're already forgiven. It's like you can forgive yourself for whatever, because it's the guilt, it's the regret, it's that deep things that stay within us. Um, I just had a friend phone yesterday actually saying to me that she just suddenly realized that she was upset about something that happened years and years ago. And something had happened that had brought it all up again. And I said, well, that you've got to first of all remind yourself that you're this age now, not that age, because I find we freeze in space and time. In fact, on the 10th of May, I'm done a workshop that I was going to do this last Saturday, and I wasn't well enough for, is to do a workshop on that. How to clear that. It's a really nice little workshop, a couple of hours, but it helps you understand how we freeze in space and time with trauma. So how do we clear trauma? It very often is just being very real about it, and then forgiving yourself for being part of it. Very often we want to blame. But if we want to reach that spiritual understanding of all things becoming together, we have to move beyond blame, friend. We can blame ourselves, we can beat ourselves up, but that doesn't work effectively in the end result. We could blame somebody else because they did it to us, but we were there. No matter about the age. And this is where we have to look at the soul. A lot of us have trauma as children. I was one of them. And it took me many, many years to figure that out, even though I was being told from different sources that must have happened to me. It wasn't until I was 44 I actually had a spontaneous memory like that. And thank goodness I knew what to do. So I wasn't hampered by that. I had lived with it all most of my life. So I was able to recognize that. But I knew and I had the steps to be able to deal so I wasn't stuck in it. So it's very, very important, the self-forgiveness thing. But how do we get there? First of all, we've got to be aware that the love universe you could say the words, I forgive myself for, but the more you are connected to that universal love force, the more you have that inside. Sorry, my voice is beginning to go, so it won't be too much longer. Then you will be able to connect with that love force, know that you are loved beyond measure regardless, and forgive yourself for it. Forgive your part to play, forgive your belief attitudes, forgive your blame frame that you have, whatever it is. It doesn't matter what it is. The more you can let go of your guilt, the more you can let go of regret, the more I was going to say the more easier it is, but actually it's a lot easier when it comes to the time of letting go of this life, because we all know that we have to do that. That's the one thing we do know. We raise death and taxes. Well, some people can avoid taxes, but death, I know there's a lot going on right now to try and make it that your life is extended. Yeah, that could be, but the reality is, no matter what, at some point in time, you leave this body and you go back into, what do you want to call that? Into the other world, the in-between world, before you either leave to go on to other planets and other dimensions, or you come back in another lifetime. And because of all the timelines that are going on, you could be here, we're in 2022 right now, you could be reborn in 716 or 3716. Like, time, what is time? And so you get to experience many, many things. But what you want when we're looking at the soul, is we want to have that soul as clear as possible, so we're not dragging in unresolved issues from other timelines, other periods, other lives. Anyway, on that note, I'm just going to pray for myself and you that anything that you need to let go of, any regret, any guilt, that you can forgive yourself for. And just know that you're loved for you. You're loved beyond measure. So allow that personal love to come on in and be at one with yourself. You have a great Sunday. If my voice holds up, which I'm sure it will, tomorrow night I'll be back for the mental mind treatments, is where we get to do mental mind treatments for changing the viewpoint. 7:00 live. You can always make any comments that you want. And if you want to think, I can't be there at 7, email me. Email me before 6:00. You can find that through my website, normacowie.com. And if you're on my newsletter, it's always at the bottom of the newsletter, my other email to get me. And wish you well. Thank you. It's good to be back. Bye now.